We are back on News Radio WGNS. I'm Brian Barrett, and joining me today is Lisa Cisco. She is with the group Save Cannonsburgh. And Lisa, the Save Cannonsburgh was known by other names before, right?
Well, it was always Save Cannonsburgh, and now we're going to be transitioning into the Home Run History name.
Home Run History. So why is there a name change?
Well, we're hoping to marry history next door to the ballpark. They're proposing to build a minor league professional ballpark stadium, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. I think I've seen some renderings, and it's going to be amazing.
So who is proposing the ballpark?
It will be a majority owner of Jason Rose. He is the one that's kind of spearheading this, and he's been in contact with me, and we're really trying to preserve Cannonsburgh and build something beautiful next door.
So initially, was Save Cannonsburgh opposed to a ballpark?
We never really were opposed to a ballpark. We just didn't want it to replace Cannonsburgh. And I don't think that was really ever the intention. There may have been some miscommunication that Cannonsburgh was thought to be demolished or moved, but the baseball stadium would be a lovely next door neighbor and would incorporate Cannonsburgh as like their main entrance into a ballpark.
There was quite a bit of confusion when that first came out, and in the conversation about it, most people were saying, we need to save Cannonsburgh, and
Right.
that was never the intent, but it's almost like that whole idea just kind of died on the vine, or the idea of it all went away, but there's been work behind the scenes apparently.
Yes, they've been working recently to revive this, and they have an architect that's working on the drawings, and we're just kind of trying to gather all the information of how to fit it into the property that's available next door to Cannonsburgh.
Now, when you say property next door to Cannonsburgh, from my recollection, you have Cannonsburgh, and then there's some where the farmers market used to be, and
Yes.
then Hooper Supply. So
Yes.
where does this proposed ball field fall in there?
It would squeeze right into that space in between Hooper and Cannonsburgh.
And when you talk about putting in a ballpark, I mean, you have people come to the ballpark, you have parking, so how would all of that work, I wonder?
Well, there won't really be on-site parking. They plan to utilize the downtown parking garages and have people walk. And it's it's only a couple of blocks. I think it would be a lovely little way to connect downtown to something new. It'll be like a bookend to the daylighting of Town Creek project, where there's supposed to be a linear park built. So it would really just be all in that area.
Lisa Cisco is joining us today. How does this preserve Cannonsburgh in your mind?
Well, the buildings would stay intact, the historic buildings that we love. A house that I grew up in, lived a few years of my young life before it was moved to Cannonsburgh. And then in the back was a house that my grandmother grew up in. My great-grandfather lived there his whole entire life. So those buildings would stay intact. It would just become part of this area that would include a ballpark.
Do you think that this will bring renewed emphasis and energy about Cannonsburgh, a ballpark in that area?
I think so, because right now there's very little energy. There's not much that goes on. So many people that live here don't know anything about it. And it's just always just kind of been sitting there. People used to have weddings and activities. A lot of that's moved away. So we're just hoping to revitalize that. And I think this would be a good family-oriented ballpark that would be a good addition to the downtown.
What is the next, phase? You've said you've seen renderings. So where does this go from here, do you think?
Oh, there's going to be all kinds of fun things. They don't have a name for the baseball team that would be coming, so there'll be a naming contest. The renderings should be ready first part of October, so that'll be really exciting. I've seen some proposed things, and I think when people see that, it's going to knock their socks off.
So this would obviously involve the city somehow, because it is on city property. And how would the city be involved, the city of Murfreesboro?
Well, the city of Murfreesboro would really be funding it and would be the owner of it, and the team would rent the stadium from them. So there's a lot of financial things that is above me, and but I do know the Jason Rose, who will be the majority owner. He has done some amazing things. I've seen other projects, and it's always very well done.
Are there or is there support from the city and the city council?
You know, they seem to be for it before. There were a few that were against it, of course. I think we really all were just very concerned about saving Cannonsburgh at that point, so we really weren't as logistical with the baseball aspect. So this might be a new avenue to be investigated.
So those that were opposed, or most of those that were opposed to Cannonsburgh that were with the Save Cannonsburgh group, are now on board with this because it would save the buildings as they are now.
Yes, and really, we were never against baseball. You know, I stood up when I had my 3 minutes of time with the city council, and I said, look, I'm not against baseball. I just don't want it to replace something that we love. Can't we have both? I want it all. So I used to say that I like chocolate and vanilla. I like it swirled. So we need it both. We need lots of good downtown activities. Downtown has really been revitalized. All the activities that they do around the square. I think Wine Around the Square is coming up soon. And it's just, we have great energy downtown, and we just need to keep that going.
Do you have any idea where this goes in terms of the city council, and what would be next to begin the process of starting up conversation again?
Well, I have talked to one city councilman today, and they're just now hearing about it. Today is the big reveal. So I'm sure in the next few days we're going to start to hear a lot more chatter, and we'll see where that goes.
Any final thoughts, any points that you want to get across here?
Well, everybody should go to the Facebook page. It's still called Save Cannonsburgh. It's in the process of being changed to Home Run History. So I think you can search it both ways. And I would just go, there's a petition. If you're for it, you can sign up and just let your thoughts be known. You can reach out to your city council members, let them know how you feel. And, they're always great to take your call.
We'll continue to follow it. Keep us informed, Lisa, on how things are going, and we'll get the information out to the city of Murfreesboro.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Lisa Cisco joining us today. I'm Brian Barrett on News Radio WGNS.